board members.
Excuse me, someone
Next,
else is taking
approved minutes.
pictures in the side of the room.
Excuse me, if the public speaks, next time the public speaks, and I see you speak, that's gonna be your public comment. The second time, you're gonna be asked to be removed from this meeting. We're gonna run this by Robert's rules, and we're gonna run this properly. Approved minutes from Board of Selectmen's meeting 12/21/05.
There's a cameraman not required to go to the back of the meeting, the back of the room.
So moved. Motion by John Conroy, second by Calvin Party. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. Thank you very much.
I think the basis of this whole taping is to get us, is that correct?
I would hope.
Yeah. So I would suggest that if that's the situation, that an external mic be put on that camera, be brought up in front. That would eliminate the operator from saying it, things that he wouldn't. And as far as speaking a little louder, we wouldn't have to. That's just a recommendation. You know, we could solve that problem. And I agree that any background noise that could be gotten from the, and now we have the camera back there, people start talking, newspaper reporters are back there, not that I say they're gonna be speaking, you go out writing, but we would pick it up. I would suggest that a mic would be put up towards the front. And if that's the situation, and you want to get a good tape, then the person who's going to make any comments should come up to the mic.
I understand that, but we're not here to serve a taping of this meeting. We're here to serve the public. And what we're doing now, we're bending over backwards to have the public say, okay, listen, anybody come in here and videotape, and this is exactly what I want to do. I want to put a mic in front of you. I had a mic put in front of me by a radio station a few months ago, and I took the mic and I told them, take it off in front of me. I don't want a mic in front of me. If we wanted mics in front of me, and before I left office, every board member had a mic in front of them. Where that system went, I have no idea. We had a mic for every public person that spoke and a podium. The podium, matter of fact, is right over there that we use. The people came up and spoke at the podium. The speakers are right here. Right up here. The speakers are right in the ceiling. And it was plugged in that hole that's over there. That hole in there. And I don't know where that went. It cost us, I believe it was like $7,000 for that speaker system. And I don't know where it is. So we tried, I just want to say that I'm not here to serve the cameras. I'm here to serve the people. That's who elected me, not the cameraman.
And I agree, and I think if we're going to set policy, even though there may be no case study on this, I think we're allowed to set policy. And if we say that somebody doesn't want to be on tape, that we should have right to say, turn it off. Okay.
And I'd rather hopefully get this board to be unanimous in the policy and work collegially.
And the other thing is, John, as far as I don't know what the FOI, I'm not, reading it here, because what is their policy on it? You know, it's a public meeting. Again, I'm all in favor of having a policy, but before we do it, I think, just like I said about the microphone being up in front, and I agree with you, Bob, like you said, if you're hearing things in the background you disagree with, certainly we want to eliminate that. But, I just feel, you know, if it's going to be a taped, you can't stop somebody from taping, but we can also, as I said, make sure it's a good tape. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I have no problem with recommended or requested. I don't think we have, I don't know whether we have the power or not just to say, hey, not to do that. I would hope the person or persons that would videotape a meeting would respect the individual's right not to be on the tape if they speak during the public. So, I mean, we could belabor this all we want. We can see how this works. We can always change our policies in the future. If we feel that it's not working for the best interests of this board to conduct business, then we can make changes. So we want to use the word recommended, or requested.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we change the wording to say that the video equipment be turned off during the comments, and it is recommended and or requested that the operator of the video equipment comply with the request.
Well, it says videotape can, person who speaks do not wish to be videotaped can request already. that the video equipment be turned off during their comments. And it is recommended. I mean, it's either recommended or requested. Everything else is in there. We have to either change the word recommended or requested.
You are entitled, and let me make this clear, you are entitled, as a board, you do what you want to do, you are entitled to direct if you feel that videotaping is not in compliance with your regulations, you are entitled to direct that the videotaping cease. And if you want to make a regulation that says that there will be no videotaping of people without their permission, and that's what this involves. This involves kind of a privacy issue, which I think is every bit as important as the FOI. And if you are entitled to say there will be no videotaping of this individual who so requests. That's it. That's pretty clear to me.
Well, yeah,
We go with recommended as written. To me, recommended or requested mean essentially the same thing. The person can choose to do it or not. If it becomes a problem in future meetings, I will support shall turn off that video.
Yeah, and if we find that the
That's
public,
nothing yet.
if we find that if somebody is taping the meeting and they ask that they would not like to be taped, and the taper of this meeting, or of that segment, continually disregards the respect of those individuals, then we could change it to shall.
The rights of the individual to be taped are as important to those individuals that do not want to be taped.
But I just recall at last meeting, of all the individuals that stood up, only one asked not to be taken.
Right.
They just said fine.
Like George said, you're right, then you got people who have a right to know what goes on at the meeting. They're not here. So, you know, it's,
That doesn't interfere, turning the videotape off with someone who requests that they not be, that they're not a public official, they don't want to be on television, that in no way interferes with the public's ability to know what goes on at this meeting, because
all
I
depends on what
presume
they
what's
say,
important
George.
about the meeting is what you do.
it all depends on what they're gonna say, and we don't know that until they get up. You know, they can say some verbiage that could be construed in a lawsuit or anything else, I'm just saying, you know that as well as I do. The only thing is that I would strongly recommend that the policy that we have here should be reviewed by the FOI before we vote on it. And if there's something that they feel as though could be off base, let them say you can't do this or you can, because
Why would you ever ask the FOI to review something?
because they call you up for the hearings.
Yeah, but you know how many times the FOI have been wrong?
Well, I'm not
on
saying
their
that, no,
decisions?
but they're the
So I
governing,
mean, I'm just, yeah, I
and they're the
understand.
governing agent, Bob.
I understand
That's
what
the
you're
only thing
saying,
that-
Frank, but what we're doing is, we have the state statute in front of us. George Temple has reviewed that state statute. I've reviewed the state statute. I reviewed case law.
We're setting policy.
And we are setting a policy under that state statute and guidelines. And if you really want to follow the state statute, if you read C, it doesn't even give a person the right to go to FOI, says it's an FOI violation. They're actually supposed to go to court
That's where all-
if we're a violation of it.
That's right.
So I mean, I think, you know, at this point here, we had enough talking about this. The motion is on the floor to keep the word recommended in. That's the way the motion was and seconded. At this time, discussion is cut off. All in favor of this policy of videotaping, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
4 yes, 2 no. Thank you very much. It's just that we waste so much good time on issues like this here that really we shouldn't really have to. Okay, next, veterans exemptions. As you know,